developed inside the AutoCAD or sometimes inside the ETAP. So ETAP is also one of the software in which you can draw the design. No doubt you can draw the design in MATLAB also. Yes, but in the MATLAB you have to give the instructions so related to the parameters available, and then you have to run that Simulink. So might be you have heard this word before, Simulink model. Yes, so you have to develop a Simulink model inside the MATLAB, and then you have to develop that actual model on the site. So this is the different softwares available for drawing the electrical diagram. Yes, basically all the major electrical companies are using the software called as electrical AutoCAD. Yes, so it can be one opportunity for you after having the Bachelor of Electrical Engineering degree. Then you can go in the field of drawing or designing field. Then you have to learn the AutoCAD first. So if there is an opportunity to learn the AutoCAD, then you can take that opportunity also. There are a number of courses available freely on Udemy, or you can say on Coursera, for learning the AutoCAD. Just you have to download the software or you have to purchase the software, and you can experiment anything for the purpose of learning. Yes. Now, in your second year, first semester, you are having the subject called as power generation technology. In the second year, second semester, you are having the subject, or you have studied the subject power system 1. Yes. So in the same way, in the same manner, in the PE first semester, you are having a subject, this EIMT. In the PE second semester, you are having two interesting subjects related to this same line of action called as power system 2 and design of electrical machines. So you can say that as the second year, second semester is having a difficult subjects, same way in the third year, just a minute. Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. What is my point of interest? So, in the second year, first semester, you have studied the PGT subject, Power Generation Technology. In the second year, second semester, you have studied and you have learned the Power System 1. In the third year, first semester, you are having a subject EIMT. Yes, so this I am going to take. In the third year, second semester, you are going to learn the Power System 2 and one more interesting subject that is called as the design of electrical machines. Why I am going to say this flow? Because this flow is related to power system. Yes. So all the components which you are going to study inside this consecutive semesters, it is related to the power system. And believe me, if you can learn them in an easy manner, then you can design any system. So in the third year, second semester, you are having this subject, and under this subject, you are going to design your electrical machine. You are going to design the transmission line, and you are going to design the substation also. So that is a important concept from this subject, design of electrical machines. Yes. Now today we are interested for the third experiment that is related to the earthing, and we have started with the earthing chapter for the second unit, second B part. Yes, so let me share my screen, just a minute. Yes, okay, so I'm going to show you the syllabus first. So this single line diagram of 132 we have discussed. After that, we have discussed in the last time estimation for 11 kilovolt feeders, and we found that there can be a chances of having a low minimum cost, or you can say minimum cost. In that minimum cost, you can use to develop the feeders and substation. So that the point we are interested, and you know that around 37,000, or you can say 37,269 rupees are there for estimation of 11 kilovolt feeders and substation. We have studied the feeders, we have studied the types of substation. Yes. So today we are interested for one assignment. What is assignment? We have to design of earthing grid for 132 or 220 kilovolt substation. So obviously this is a step up substation. So 132 kilovolt is incoming and 220 kilovolt is a outgoing. So this is the incoming side and this is the outgoing side. And what we have to design? We have to design the earthing grid. What is the earthing grid? It is nothing but it is related to the components which we are using inside the substation. So we have to make one earthing grid. Might be have heard the word before, earthing mat. Yes. So same line of action, we have to develop or we have to design the earthing grid. जसं आपण म्हणतो ना की एक जाळं असतं, कुठे जाळं असतं की जर आपण सबस्टेशन हे डेव्हलप करत असू किंवा डिझाईन करत असू तर सुरुवातीला तुम्हाला यू हॅव टू चूज द लोकेशन फर्स्ट. So there are n number of parameters. After that, we have to decide the which type of substation will be there. And the third point is we have to develop the design of earthing grid. सुरुवातीला आपल्याला earthing grid ही डिझाइन करावं लागेल depending on the location of equipments, and then we can install this 132 by 220 kilovolt substation. So this is our today's point of interest. No doubt this is an assignment. Yes. And it is available in the section of compulsory experiment. So you can see for the EIMT, there are many experiments which are study based experiments. Yes, we have to take one parameters, we have to develop that design. Yes, and we have to propose that design can be there for this 132 by 220 kilovolt substation. We are interested only for doing the design calculations. Yes, we are not interested for drawing this design. Yes. So this point is clear to you, I hope. So we will go for this assignment. So you can see over here, this is our assignment to study the design of earthing grid for 132 by 220 kilovolt substation. I hope the screen is visible to you and I am audible to you. If you are persisting any doubt, just you can unmute yourself and you can talk. What is our aim? Our aim is to study the design for earthing grid. So this is our interesting part, and we have started the difference between earthing and grounding, and we have finished the difference between ground and neutral. Yes, so that point you have to keep in mind. No doubt after studying the earthing you can able to design this earthing grid, but if I'm going to wait for that lecture, then it will be the you can say again one more experiment I have to spend on this. So better way, I will study, I will you can say I will show you this design part, and then we will discuss this same part in the theory lecture also. So we know that for the experiment we have to learn the pre-lab question. What are the pre-lab question? The number one is enlist the earthing standard need to be followed while designing the earthing system. I have told you earlier that we are using the IEEE standards. Now, what is the meaning of IEEE standards? International Electrical and Electronics Engineering Association. So this is one association which is built over the world, and all the electrical and electronics engineers contributing their knowledge to this society. So what they are doing? They are making the, you can say, the rules. They are making some, you can say, the proposals. They are making or they are arranging the conferences. They are arranging the seminars. They are arranging the talk. Yes. So this is the role of this IEEE. Yes. And you have to keep in mind, whenever we are interested for earthing design, then we have to learn one IEEE standard that is called as a IEEE 80, which is invented in 2000. So that has a name IEEE 80. 80 is a name which is associated with earthing design, and in the year of 2000, sorry, that is not 200, it's a 2000. In the year of 2000, it was developed by this IEEE committee. Yes, and we are following this IEEE 80 2000 standard for designing this earthing. Now, there is a always question why we are preferring these standards, why there is a need to use these standards. Because we know that, might be you have heard this word before, ISO. Might be your schools, might be your neighbor hospitals are recognized by these ISO standards. Yes? What is the meaning of ISO? International System or International Standard Organization. Yes? So if I'm correct, then that is a correct, you can say the full form of ISO, International Standards Organization. Yes, and we are interested for this ISO certification. Yes, so they have developed a systematic rules they have developed, and we have to follow that rule if we are interested to develop the school building, or if we are interested to develop the hospital building. So if we are going to follow that ISO standard rules, then we will get the certification, and ultimately it will be the opportunity for the you can say the owner also, so to advertise themselves as ISO certified school or ISO certified hospital. Yes, same way our college is accredited by NAC as A grade. Yes, and we have heard this word before, NAC. NAC is nothing but it is also one committee which gives the accreditation. Yes, same way, on the same line of action, we are going to allow, or we are going to approach this year for NBA, National Board of Accreditation. Yes, same line of action. We are interested for today the IEEE 80 2000 standard, which is related to the designing the earthing system. Yes. Now, what is the second question? State the basic need of earthing. So this is today in this evening, in the afternoon class, we will discuss this need. But before that, let me show you one picture which is important for the need of earthing. Just a minute. Yes. So you can see over here, this is the picture. You can see the person is there and he is going to touch the electrical cooker. Yes. And you can see over here, if there is always existing of live wire and if there is a neutral wire, and you can say in America, it is this live is also called as hot wire. Yes. And neutral is neutral all over the world. Yes. If you can say the earth is not available to this point, yes, you can see over here, this earth is connected to the body of this equipment. Yes. So if this is not available, then what will happen? Let's say there is a increase of current suddenly. Then because of increase of current suddenly, there will be the charges are going to flow through this body of this cooker. If the person is there and he's going to touch that electric cooker, then obviously he will get shock and he will fall down. Yes. So to avoid this, we have to connect the earthing. So whenever there is extra charges are going to available on this body of this electrical equipment, then it will go into the earth. So this is a need of earthing. You can say that basic need of earthing is for the protection purpose. For the protection purpose. So that is an important need of earthing. Protection means what? Safety. Yes. So we are interested for safety of personal and safety of equipment. So that is we are interested for the earthing. I hope the picture is clear to you, and we will go ahead for the designing part. Yes. So this is the basic need of earthing. No doubt there are n number of reasons why we are doing the earthing, but we are interested only for the basic. So you can say it is a safety parameter, or we are interested for the protection of the personal and the protection of the equipment. So here I have mentioned that in the substation, earthing system is essential not only to provide the protection of people working in the vicinity of earth facilities and the equipments against the danger of electric shock, but to maintain the proper function of electrical system. So we have to ensure that the protection of people must be there and the electric shock will not be observed inside the substation. So that is a need. Now these calculations are based primarily on the guidelines. Who is going to provide the guidelines? IEEE. And what is the number? 80, and 2000 is the year. So whenever the question will be asked for you, which standard you are going to follow for designing the earthing, your answer is 80 2000. So there is the name of that standard, Guide for Safety in AC Substation Earthing. Why we are interested for AC? You know that all the conversion which takes place on the parameter or on the basis of AC only. We are not using the DC transmission much more than AC. Yes, we are using widely the AC transmission. Obviously, there is a need of DC earthing also. Yes, but we are not interested for the today's experiment. We are interested for AC substation earthing. Yes. Now, for this designing the system, we have to collect one data. So what is the data which we needed for designing the earthing system? We need the substation grid area, actual area in which the substation is going to install. So for that we have seen one table. What is the table? We have seen the two columns. First column is related to the kilovolt rating and second column is related to the area. So for 400 kilovolt we require the 50 acre area. Same way for 220 kilovolt we require the 25 acre. So in that way we first need the grid area. Obviously first we have to identify which type of substation will be there. Yes, it is a step up substation or it is a step down substation, that we have to follow, and after that we have to find out the grid area. What is the next parameter? The next parameter is related to the soil resistivity at the site. I already told you what is the importance of soil resistance or earth resistance. You have to keep in mind the soil resistance or earth resistance of the substation should be minimum. Why? Because if there is excess charges are going to flow, or if there are excess charges are going to occur, then it has to go inside the ground. It has to go inside the soil. Now there is a one question for you. Let's say if we are using a dry sand and if we are using a, you can say, wet sand or wet soil. Yes, so let me write in the chat box, or wet soil. Yes, we can found this dry soil and wet soil near to our house. Yes, now tell me which soil has a high amount of resistance. High amount of resistance. Based on your BEE knowledge, basic electrical engineering knowledge, or power system 1 knowledge, you have to answer this question. So I'm getting the answer by Tor, Popole, Yadav. Yes, dry. They are all are saying dry. Yes, dry. Any other answer? So all are saying dry. Yes, the answer is correct. So dry soil has a high amount of resistance. So you have not choose the dry soil for making the earthing system. Yes, we know that whenever there is a moisture is available inside the soil, then because of this moisture, the resistance of this moisture will get reduced or will get decrease. Yes, so this is the important concept you have to follow while designing. Whenever there is a moisture is present inside the soil, then obviously the resistance will decrease. Yes. Now we are interested for this soil resistivity. So we have to measure the soil resistance. So I already told you, whenever we are interested for measurement of soil resistance, then we have to conduct one experiment. We will conduct that experiment inside our premises, campus premises, and we will check whether the soil resistance of dry and wet is how much. So that will conduct one experiment. Yes. But here we are interested for checking the soil resistivity at the site. Yes. Then we are interested for maximum grid current. Maximum grid current means what? The name indicates itself. The current which is available inside the grid. That is called as a maximum grid current. Yes. And the fourth part is resistivity of soil at the surface. So you can say inside the earth and at the surface. So there is no difference between these two quantities, but for the data we have to find out, then I have to consider these two important factors. Yes, soil resistivity at the site. So you can say in the ground and at the surface. Yes. Now for drawing or for designing the earthing substation, we need the data. So this data is collected based on the parameters which are available with us. Yes. So what is the data which we have collected? We have collected the soil resistivity. Obviously it is in ohm meter. So the value is 25. Yes. We are interested for gravel resistivity. So this is also in terms of 3000. Many parameters you have not heard before. There are new parameters which are needed for designing. Yes, I'm not going to detail you each and every description of these parameters, because you know that whenever we need the designing for any equipment, we need one data, and same principle is applicable in designing of electrical machine subject. You have to collect the data. You can collect the data from internet, from books, from IEEE papers, and then you are interested for designing, for drawing. Yes, here we are interested only for to study the designing procedure. We are not interested for drawing. So we have to collect this data which is readily available inside the onside the internet, or you can say from IEEE paper. So I have taken this data from IEEE paper, and you can see the notations are available, the unit is available, and the value which is correct, which is available. Yes. So you can see, or you can read over here, symmetrical short circuit current we need. So that is the 40,000. So which is maximum current. You can see over here. The duration of earth fault current can be there, and which is a 0.5 second. We need the thickness of crushed gravel, which is a 0, which is not permissible. The depth of earth grid we need 1.2. So these are the different parameters we need for designing of the earthing system. Yes. Now, what is the next parameter? The reference depth we need, the resistivity of conductor we need, the thermal coefficients we need. After that, we need the maximum allowable temperatures. So it is a 419, which is available in degrees Celsius. So we have to use the notations. After that, we need again the ambient temperature, which is available to 40 standard. We need the pressure, or you can say 1 upon A0 or 1 upon AR. So that is the standard values which are available, which is available in degrees Celsius, 293. We need the duration of current, 0.5 second. Thermal capacity we need, the conductor cross section area we need, the number of parallel conductors we need, the conductor spacing we need. Also, we need the length of conductor, number of ground rods, length of ground rods, total length of ground rods, total length of buried conductors, total length of buried conductors and rods, maximum length, x-axis, maximum length on y-axis, area of the grid. So you can see over here. So it is the area 247.5 meter square. Yes. And then we need one decrement factor, so which is 0.415. It has no unit, so it is a unitless quantity. And after having this collection of data, we are interested for calculation. So obviously for the calculation there are formulas available, which are standard formulas, and where we have taken these formulas from IEEE 80-2000 standard. So if you are interested to design the AC earthing system, then on the Google you have to search IEEE 80-2000 and you will get one PDF. Obviously we have to pay for that PDF, which is not freely available, because IEEE is a society, it is an independent society which has no control of government, and they are going to make the regulations, they are going to make the rules. Yes, and then we have to pay for that IEEE standard, and then we have to develop this designing system. Yes, after having this data, we have to find out the different calculations. So what is the first calculation? We have to find out the size of earthing conductor. That is our point of interest. So there is a one formula is available, which is a standard formula. We have to take that formula directly, which is available in the IEEE standard. What is the formula? So obviously the size which is in, you can say millimeter square. So I have to use the formula as I divided by under root of TCAP into 10⁻⁴ divided by TC alpha R into rho R, log of K0 plus Tm divided by K0 plus Ta. So these notations I am using, or I am taking the values which is available in this given data. So you can see over here what is TCAP, thermal capacity per unit volume. I have to put all these quantities together, and obviously after that I will find out the value of this size of earthing conductor, which is 415.08. Obviously it is in millimeter square available, and for this area we have to found the size which is available standardly 23 millimeter. So for the designing of 220 kilovolt bus selection, we have to use 23 millimeter area for this earth conductor. Yes. So same way we have to develop the second calculation, which is related to the maximum grid current. So maximum grid current, you have to use the formula Ig is equal to Df into If. Df is a decrement factor, they have given as 0.415, and If they have given the RMS value, which is the maximum value 40,000. We have to take this product and we will get the maximum grid current as 16,600. You have to remember that this grid current is an essential parameter for designing the earthing system. After having the design grid current, we have to go for grid resistance. What is the grid resistance? Also there is one formula. You have to use that formula directly, put all the values together, and you will get the grid resistance. So you can see over here the grid resistance is minimum, and if your value come high, then there is something wrong in your data. Yes. So depending on the data, we have to find the grid resistance, and it should be minimum less than 5 ohm. So obviously our value is less than 1 ohm, so it is acceptable. After that, we have to find out the ground potential rise. So it is nothing but the voltage drop. So the product of current which is available at the grid current and into the RG. So this resistance of ground. So it comes as 12,284 volt. And these two parameters we have to find out: step potential and touch potential. So what is the step potential? We will discuss this concept in the upcoming lectures of earthing, but here for the point of understanding, just I'm going to read the definition. All the concept will be conveyed to you in a proper manner with the help of presentation in the theory lectures. So what is the step potential? Step potential is defined as the potential difference between a person's outstretched feet. Normally 1 meter apart without the person touching any earth structure. तुम्हाला कळत असेल की स्टेप पोटेन्शियल हे एक असं पोटेन्शियल आहे की जे आपल्या दोन स्टेप मधलं जे पोटेन्शियल एक्झिस्ट असेल दॅट इज कॉल्ड एज अ स्टेप पोटेन्शियल. काही लोकांना ही गोष्ट कळाली असेल या डेफिनेशन वरून, पण ज्या लोकांना कळेल नसेल त्यांना मी गॅरंटी देतो की जे अपकमिंग लेक्चर्स असतील अर्थिंगचे त्याच्यामध्ये आय एम गोइंग टू कव्हर दिस पॉइंट इन डिटेल, बिकॉज देर इज ऑलवेज क्वेश्चन विल बी आस्क्ड ऑन दिस. Explain the step potential and touch potential in detail. What is the next part? So we have to use the formula. So again, this formula is standard, and we have to put the value of rho and rho s. After putting the values, we will get the value of step potential. So that is a 255.34 volts. After step potential, we are interested for touch potential. Same way you can see from the name itself, it is a potential whenever you are going to touch any electrical component's body. That is called the touch potential. The touch potential is defined as the potential difference between person's outstretched hand and touching an earth structure. म्हणजे जर आपण एका अर्थ स्ट्रक्चरला टच केलं तर तेव्हा एक पोटेन्शियल डेव्हलप होतं. सो दॅट पोटेन्शियल इज कॉल्ड एज टच पोटेन्शियल. So same way we have to use this formula, and by putting the values we will get 230.36 volts. So this is step potential value, this is a touch potential value. Yes, and you have to put the conclusion for the parameters and for the calculated values we have found out with the help of formulas. Yes, and after that there is a post lab question. So you have to keep in mind, for designing the earthing system, we have to find out the 6 quantities. For these 6 quantities, we have to collect the data, and based on the data, we have to use the standard formulas available in IEEE 80-2000 standard, and then we have to put the values and we will calculate our interested value. Yes. Now the last question is the post lab question. What is the post lab question? Enlist the parameters for earth mat design. So earth grid design is the same and earth mat design is the same. Yes. So you have to enlist these 6 parameters. What are the 6 parameters? Size of earthing conductor, maximum grid current, grid resistance, ground potential rise, it is a voltage drop, step potential and touch potential. Yes. So after this you have to your experiment is finished over here. I hope you understood the today's experiment. If you have any doubt related to this earthing design in your future or in your coming days, then you can ask me. Yes. So okay, thank you for the class, and you can leave the class. I have taken your attendance also.